Green Cooling scores with the 13 Pro-Am Community Rugby League Show.
Yes, hello listeners and welcome back to the 13 Pro-Am Community Rugby League Show. Ste Beech here, your voice from the touchline for all things grassroots rugby league. Well, what have you got for you tonight? Well, we've got a bumper show for you. First up, a trip to Cumbria, where we'll be dissecting the thrilling EB Lamb and Son Amateur Cup final. And we'll hear how the champions celebrated the heartbreaks and all the tries in between. Then we're going to be moving a little bit more down south, and we'll dive into the usual suspects of the Northwest Men's League, the Yorkshire Men's League, and of course, well, before we get stuck right into the domestic scene of the NCL, let's take a moment and we'll acknowledge the fantastic performance of the England Lions. The young guns have been tearing it up over in Belgrade at the European Rugby League Under-19s Championship, and we'll take a look at the dominant run in the comp and how they fared. And of course, we've got the interviews and match commentary coming your way, plus a rundown of all the action, as I said, from the National Conference League with interviews and match reports. Plenty to unpack there, so buckle up, grab yourself a brew, let's get stuck into yet another week of Community Rugby League.
Green Cooling keeps the 13 Pro-Am Community Rugby League Show cool, even when tackles get heated.
And as I said, we're going to move up and into Cumbria. And Wasbrow A landed the first trophy of the season when they beat Ensingam A 48 points to 6 in the final of the EB Lamb and Son Amateur Cup. It made amends for last season when they also reached the final but were beaten by Maryport at Dissington, also the scene of this triumph. They had virtually sealed the win at half-time as they built up a 20 points to 6 lead. 2 tries from James Devine, skipper Luke Davidson and Peter Caddy weighing in there, 2 of which were converted by Leighton Dockeray. A try from Dane Richardson was converted by Taylor Richardson, just about kept Ensingam in touch. But the Hornets were too strong, and in the second half they added to their total with 2 tries from Davidson to complete his hat-trick. Jackson Ben, Luke Spivey, Daly Stables and Jensen Alstrom. Dockeray and Alstrom each added a goal. The Man of the Match award went to Wasbrow's Jack Casey. Winning coach Paul Farrell said, "It was a scrappy start with a few errors and it took us about 20 minutes to get into the game. Ensingam were a young side who kept coming, but our experienced lads shone through. I reminded them of how we felt coming off last year after losing, and they responded with a very committed performance. We were able to play some good rugby and score some nice tries, which was very pleasing, as with the fact that we had the first trophy of the season." Ensingam head coach Chris Coward, who watched the game, said, "We were competitive for the first 20 minutes, but they had a 20-0 points to 6 lead at half-time, and although we got into an arm wrestle at times, they blew us out of the water in the last 15 minutes. In the Holman Higson Cumberland League, Kells A stepped up their top 4 challenge with a 32 points to 12 home win against Dissingam A. The Kells tries were scored by Dan Starkey 2, Cam Seeds, Ross Gainford, Dylan Hurton and Nathan Clark, with 4 goals added by Gainford. Dissington, who had been 16-6 behind at half-time, responded with tries by Bailey Worthington, Keith Hunter, converted by Jaden Hewer. Casey Chambers was the man of the match for Kells, with Robbie Joe Worthington picking up the award for Dissington. Assistant coach Bradley Smith was in charge for Kells' side for this one and said, "Before the game we asked the lads to limit Dissington's field position and time the ball in the early stages of the game. Dissington matched us in all departments with a very aggressive outside defence, but we gave them good ball in good areas and they got foothold in the game. Then we started playing, going set for set and getting our strike play into good areas. At half time we recapped and doubled down on the basics. After that we got field position and with the slope to help we managed to win the game relatively comfortably. Credit to Dissington because I was really impressed with their loose forward and right centre, both strong runners of the ball who proved difficult all night." In the other game, Lauca were 46 points to 12 winners at Askham with tries from Evan Hodgson 3 and man of the match Mitchell Todd 2, Xander Callinger 2, Robbie Fisher with 7 goals from Keith Campbell. Askham, who had trailed 24 points to 6 at half time, scored tries through Lucas James, Rob Cocaine, with Lucas Stables landing the goals. Dylan Barra was the man of the match. Lauca coach Lee Allen said The game went as I expected. They had a big pack and a few skillful outside backs that never gave up for 80 minutes. They also proved fantastic hospitality. As for us, we defended well and scored some good tries from our outside backs. Chris Broadley, the Askham player coach, said, "It was another game where we've competed in spells but gave away too many penalties and it cost us. It's building blocks really, trying to improve as we go through the season. I thought our full-back Lucas James was outstanding with his pace. Lauka came with the right attitude and did a job on us. I'd just like to wish them all the very best for the rest of the season." So there you go, that's the roundup of the Cumbria. And where are we moving next? Yes, we're moving a little bit further south, not too far south, but coming to the Northwest and the Northwest Men's League. How have things been going on this weekend? Well, let's kick off with the Premier Division. We've got Hurstfinch 36, Shevington Sharks 6, Heysham Atoms 26, Alton Falmouth Hornets 24. We've got Foley Lane 18 and Latchford Albion 16. And if you remember last week I said about Heysham Atoms were due to play Ashton Burrs, but I wasn't sure because I knew Heysham Atoms had got a game on the Saturday as well. Well, they actually did, and it was Heysham Atoms 20, Ashton Burrs 16. So well done first and foremost to Ashton Burrs for travelling up there on a Wednesday. Obviously just getting beat, putting in a good performance, but also Heysham Atoms putting 2 wins together there, also beating Alton Falmouth Hornets on the Saturday as well, which has stood them in good stead, which keeps in and around middle of the table. So, but we've got at the bottom we've got Latchford Albion there with 3 points, and Shevington Sharks, Foley Lane, all the bottom 3, and up the top we've got Blackbrook in 3rd, Oral St James in 2nd, and Hurstfinch still there, top of the tree, going great guns this season, as we said before. Going to be interesting as we get to the playoffs to see how those things unfold. So moving into Division 1, and the results for last weekend, kicking off on Saturday with Wigan St Cuthbert's 28, Dalton 16, Goulburn Parkside 10, West Orton Lions 52. Fantastic win there for West Orton Lions. Burton Wood Bridge 14, Hindley 44. Burton Wood struggling this season. Started off reasonably well, but just not getting the form together, which obviously they had when they were in the division below, in Division 2. Be good to see how they finished the season. Ulverston 38, Tatterheath Crusaders 16, Salford City Roosters 22, Chorley Panthers 4. Let's have a look at the tables again. At the bottom, we've got Goulburn Parkside at the bottom, then Tatterheath Crusaders A, then just above them in 8th place, as I say, is Burton Wood Bridge. And top 3 are West Orton Lions, who've been doing very well indeed. But Hindley have played 13, won 9, they've got 20 points. The same as Dalton, who have played 12, won 9, also got 20 points. So that is Division 1 for you. Division 2 fixtures this week were results on the Saturday. Roost Pioneers 24, Rochdale Mayfield 8-0. Hinepool Tigers 22, Westmount Bears 18. And a game that was played on the Thursday was Newton Storm against Wigan Springview, and it was Newton Storm 27, Wigan Springview 26. So Newton Storm coming into something of a little bit of a golden patch at the moment, stringing a few results together. And the table shows that down at the bottom we've got Wigan Springview, who are propping everything up. Then Lee Miners Rangers A with 8 points. Newton Storm just above, also with 8 points, along with Waterhead Warriors A in 5th place with 8 points, and Roost Pioneers in 4th with 8 points. So you can see a win there for any of those 4 teams moves them well up, because Rochdale Mayfield A, who are in 3rd, they're only, well, I said they're only on 10 points. They are on 10 points. So a lot to play for there. Top 2 in the division are Westmount Bears, have played 10, 13 points. Hinepool Tigers are top of the tree at the moment, played 9, and they have got 18 points. So that's Division 2. Moving on into Division 3, results for the weekend. Higginshaw 44, Wigan St Jude's Northwest Men's 10. Clotface Miners 24, Cadishead Rhinos 0. Blackpool Scorpions 20, Garswood Stags 14, Bank Keebles 21, Runcorn 16. So some good results there. Again, let's have a look at the table there in Division 3. Bottom of the table at the moment is Cadishead Rhinos. They've yet to get a point, and unfortunately they've had a couple of points forfeited, as well as Clockwest Face Miners are in the same position as well, who are in 7th. They've just got the 2 points. But up at the top, we've got the top 3. We've got Higginshaw in 3rd, played 11, got 14 points. Bank Keebles, who are having a great season, played 11, 19 points. And Garswood Stags, top of the tree, and they've played 12, 22 points. Moving over into Division 4. And the results for Division 4. West Orton Lions A 12, Liverpool Lizards 14, Portico Vine 26, Langworthy Reds 18. And that was the only 2 games that were played last weekend. Again, let's have a look at the table. Bottom of the table is West Orton Lions A with just 4 points. Then Chester Gladiators with 7. Up at the top, we've got the top 3. A Portico Vine have played 11 with 14 points. And their second is Langworthy Reds. They've 11, 1, 7 and 14 points to them as well. But points difference just giving them that nudge to the second spot. But top of the tree there is Haydock Warriors. Played 10, 1, 8, lost 2, 16 points for them. And so the fixtures for this week in the North West Men's League on Saturday the 27th of July. Premier Division, we've got Shevington Sharks up against Ashton Burrs. Latchford Albion make the trip over to St Helens to play Blackbrook. Alton Farmers Hornets will welcome Hurst Finch. And Esher Mattons come all the way down from Cumbria to play Oral St James. In Division 1, Hindley welcome Ulverston. West Orton Lions have the short trip over to Wigan St Cuthberts, while Goulburn Parkside make their way over to Chorley Panthers. Dalton, they will be welcoming Salford City Roosters, and Tatooine Crusaders A will welcome Burton Wood Bridge. Division 2, Lee Miners Rangers A welcome Roost Pioneers, while Waterhead Warriors A make the trip over to Newton Storm. Rochdale Mayfield A will play Highpool Tigers. Division 3, Banky Bulls will be up against Cadishead Rhinos. Blackpool Scorpions will take on Wigan St Jude's, and Higginshaw make the trip over to Garswood Stags. And Division 4, Chester Gladiators say they'll take on Langworthy Reds. Haydock Warriors, they will be taking on, or they will be travelling to the Liverpool Lizards. And Oral St James they will go over to Portico Vine. So some good matches there this weekend in the North West Men's League.
Rugby League's secret weapon, Green Cooling, scores with the 13 Pro-Am Community Rugby League Show.
So now we're going to move over the Pennines, to the eastern side of the country, over into Yorkshire and the Yorkshire Men's League. And the results for last weekend kicking off on Thursday the 18th. In the whole division, it was Eastall 44, Skirler 12. Then we got down to the finals at the weekend. Saturday, the 20th of July. In the cup final, Doncaster Tollbar were taking on Murfield. And unfortunately, it was abandoned after 18 minutes due to a serious injury. And I know that's going to be rearranged at some time. I'll give you that a little bit later on. Trophy final saw Bramley Buffaloes 22, Illingworth 16. In the Shield final, Oulton Raiders came out successful, 22 points to 0 against the York St John Barbarians. And in the NCL Alliance Cup final, West Bowling Academy 38, Uith 4. All those were played at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium in Mount Pleasant in Batley. And then we go over into league games. We got Division 1, Siddle 50, Wibsey Warriors 10. Division 5, Batley 14, Derby Elks 16. Division 6, Keighley Albion Academy 52, Charleston Rovers Academy 0. And then we've got the NCL Alliance, Milford 24, Bentley 0. In the old division, there was no result for the Sculthorpe Steel Sharks versus Skirler, but Mighton Warriors 24, Cottingham Tigers 12. So the games up and coming this weekend, kicking off on Friday, the 26th of July. In the Premier Division, we see Stanley Rangers go to Fryston Warriors. And Division 1, we've got Bradford Dudley, they welcome Wisby Warriors. In the Saturday the 27th, Premier Division again, Keighley Albion take on Doncaster Toll Bar. King's Cross Park welcome the Almonbury Spartans, whilst the Newton Panthers travel over to the Westgate Common. In Division 1, Cutside Raiders go over to Hunslet ARLFC. Ossett Trinity Tigers welcome Siddle Academy. Charleston Rovers, they'll be up against Murfield. Division 2, Seacroft Sharks play Brighouse Rangers. Emley Cougars will welcome and play the Castleford Panthers. And Moll Green will take on Illingworth. And finally in that division, Queensbury will take on the Birkenshaw Blue Dogs. In Division 3, Bramley Buffaloes, they welcome York Hacorn, whilst Wake travel over to Dodworth Miners. Ellen Gretland, they will be up against Birstall Victoria, and Newish Earswick All Blacks will welcome Upton. Division 4, Dewsbury Moor will play York Barbarians. Gould Vikings will take on Ulton Raiders, whilst West Cravian Warriors will travel over to Lunderbank Rangers. Division 5, we've got Garthwood Tigers moving over and playing Batley. Criggleston All Blacks will be taking on Linley St Joseph's, and the Farnley Falklands will be going over and playing Derby Elks. Scarborough Pirates will welcome the Durham Valley Bulldogs. Division 6, we've got the Guiseley Rangers. They will be up against King's Cross Park Academy. Hensworth Dragons will take on Keighley Albion Academy. And Moortown Mambas they'll be up against the Charleston Rovers Academy. And finally, in the NCL Alliance, the Eastmoor Dragons will be up against Milford. Normanton Knights will take on Stanley. And West Bowling Academy will be up against the Shawcross Sharks. So that's the rundown for the Yorkshire Men's League this week.
Every tackle, every try, every scrum. Green Cooling is proud to be part of the Community Rugby League family.
Of the community games so far here over in England, we'll be giving you the NCL results just a little bit later on. But obviously last week I was saying Mr. Parkinson, he's obviously not with us and not been with us for a couple of weeks. He's over in Belgrade in Serbia at the FK Radnicki Stadium for the European Under-19s Championships, which, as you know, we fetch you regular reports and results as the guys have been building up to this competition. Fetched you a few results last week. Of course, England took on Serbia in a it was the Serbian Under-21s last week, and they beat them 52 points to 4. Then also, I think it was the same day, or a couple of days later, Ukraine took on Serbia and beat them 24 points to 4, and they're qualifying through for a semi-final tilt at England, which was great for them to sort of put a gun in a good performance like that. At the same time, Scotland were up against the USA, and they took on them, as I say, at the Radnicki Stadium, and they came out 32 points to 10 winners. So they moved on to a semi-final against France. There was a 5th and 6th playoff when the USA on Wednesday they played Serbia, and it was USA 40, Serbia 12, and that was an absolutely superb result for the USA. I know we'd had some disruption flying into to Serbia, so they had really got it together there. Then it was France up against Scotland. It was France 30, Scotland 18. So Scotland pushed them all the way, and it may sound there that France actually run away with that. But from what I was gathered talking to Parky a couple of weeks ago, he was commentating on the England Academy side, taking on the French Academy side, and a lot of those players were going to be playing in this tournament, and they actually beat the England Academy side. And I know Parky was saying he was very impressed with a lot of their side. So consequently, under no illusion that France had a very, very good team out here. Then also in the semi-finals, which we brought you last week with Parky's, I think just before we went off we brought you Parky's rundown of the game. And it was England 58, Ukraine 4. And that took us over to some more of the what they call grading games. USA were up against the Ukraine, another tough test for USA, but it was USA 26, Ukraine 22. So that again is another superb result. And then Scotland were up against Serbia, and they ran out absolutely superb winners, 56 points to 0. So two great grading games there for Scotland and for USA. After that semi-final, Parky caught up with a couple of the guys. First and foremost, he caught up with Marcus Greener, who he'd been threatening to interview, and now he got hold of him because I think he was a bit of a try scorer. It's Parky.
Well, I'm with Lions try-scoring hero Marcus Greener. Marcus, how are you enjoying Serbia so far, mate?
No, it's been good. We've been here about a week now. Got used to the heat, so we're enjoying it. It's good. It's been a good experience. And
I know that you've been mithering me for this interview as well, haven't you? You've been wondering where it's been for about 2 or 3 years, because you've been going through all of these Lions teams and I've not spoke to you before.
No, yeah. I've been here now for the past 2 or 3 years from 16s, and yeah, I had a little joke with you saying you haven't pulled me yet, and a day later and I've been pulled now. So
I know you're doing your dues now. So, yeah. But I suppose this is another reason why I wanted to talk to you, because you've been right the way through the age groups. So how have you found it? You know, generally from sort of coming in, then having to trial, and then having to trial again.
No, it's been good. After 16s, obviously, I didn't think I played my best, so I wanted to do it again. So we went to the 17s trial or the 18s trial, and I got picked again. And so it's been good, just going through the years. And I remember in 16 was the last time the under-19s tournament was on, and I remember thinking, oh, that's what I want to play in. So now I'm here. So yeah.
And here you are, and you've fulfilled that dream. Yeah. You set yourself something to go for, and you've gone and done it, haven't you?
Yeah. So.
And also, I suppose since then, I mean, when you started off and came into the programme, you was a second row, and now you're a fleet of foot centre. Yeah. Where's that spit you come from?
I'm not sure. Well, yeah, at 16s I was propping. The 17s I was a back row, and I moved to centre. And yeah, I don't really know where my speed's come from. I think I've always been fast, but just over the last few months, it's just come from nowhere. And that first try I scored in that first game, just.
Yeah, you found a couple of extra gears.
I know. I just went. I don't even know what happened. I just flew down the wing and then beat the fullback. Didn't even need any footwork out.
Yeah, you need your footwork this time round for your try against Ukraine, though. Generally speaking, about that game, how did you find it?
It was good. We were a strong set of lads, because when we first turned up there, I saw we had some big middles, and I saw the outsides, and I thought, I look bigger and stronger than these. So as soon as I got the ball, I ran dead out, and I'm thinking, I'm just going to get over here now. And he got hold of me. And we were a tough set of lads, and it surprised me. So they give us a good game. I think some of us might have underestimated him a bit. I know I did. So it was a good test. It was a good physical game. So they were good for us, and that's what we're going to need going into the French game, I think, is the physicality. So I think it was a good game to ease us into it.
And I know that when we come back, you was keeping a tab on everything that was going on in that game. They are a good side, this French side, aren't they?
We're a good side. We know we sort of know what to expect. We know they just beat the academy team, so we know they're not going to be a pushover. So we know we've got to be on it. We've got to have our set completions high, keep just the errors to nothing if we can, and then we should give them a good game. I know Scotland give them a good game, so I think we can give them a good game as well.
A quick one about the conditions over here, because I think that contributes to the errors because of the amount of sweat that we're, because we're all walking around, and virtually it's like walking around and needing a shower every 10 minutes, isn't it?
It's really, really hot, but when you're playing, I've not actually found it too bad when we're playing. I think that's the coolest I felt when we're playing, because it just takes your mind off it. But the ball, it's not easy to catch. It's greasy, it's sweaty. It does make it hard, and the concentration as well. It's just like, there's a time I thought ball going out and it's landed behind me and it's bounced out and they've got the ball back off a kick off, and it's just those things where if it's not 40 degrees and you can just got your mind fully on it, you might catch that ball. But I think we've all dealt with it well. We've all climatised to it, and it's cooling down now, and I think it's going to be cool for the final. So it should be good.
And the good thing is, I'm talking to you on a rehab day, you know,
Yeah.
so everybody gets the chance to like replenish, refresh, take a little bit of time to yourselves where you need to. Have you been able to do that as well on this trip a little bit?
Yeah, these rehab days are good. It's just because it takes you out of it in the heat when you're playing, and then to have a day where you can just fully relax, do some stretching, go to the lake, have a swim. It's nice. Just re-energises you, and then we're back on it tomorrow. So I think we need these days, because if we're straight back on it today, we'd all just be drained and we'd not be able to perform at the level we need to. So these are key days, really.
I'm sure everybody back home is really proud of both yourself and Darry Barker that are here from Waterhead. Maybe a quick word for them and how they've supported you as well on the way.
No, Waterhead have been quality. Yeah, I think we raised nearly all the money for both me, Harry, and Reece, who plays for Scotland. So Waterhead have been great. The support at home, you see it on Facebook, you see it on Instagram, you see it on everything. It's good. I know we're all behind us, so we're all watching the games.
And what about family over here? Is anybody coming over for the final?
No, my mum and dad are coming over, and my little brother are coming over tomorrow. I know Harry's mum and dad are coming over today, so they're all here to come and watch the final. So hopefully we can get the win for them for coming over.
Hopefully. Thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully we'll have that beer afterwards.
Yeah, hopefully.
13 Pro-Am, giving a voice to Community Rugby League.
There you go, that's the sound of the voice of Marcus Gina talking to Dave Parkinson over there in Serbia after that semi-final victory, just in a bit of obviously a wind down day to get the body a little bit more settled down, because looking at things, the weather has been really, really hot. But yeah, the next thing, of course, was the final that was going to be coming up on the Saturday. And throughout this series, Parky has been talking to Gary Ewer, the head coach of the under-19s, and getting his views after each training session, etc. And, Parky, as diligent as ever, carried on and made sure he managed to catch up with Gary to find out what were his thoughts pre to the final on Saturday.
Well, Gary, the big day has arrived. The lads can't be any better prepared than what they are now.
No, they can't, David, and you've just sat in there in terms of the final preparations and going through our tip sheet and the final preparations in terms of giving the lads information and knowledge on the opposition and how we shaped up to play, just to finalise that last minute of education we can give them and tipping up. So yeah, the boys are well prepared, to be honest, Dev.
Are you comfortable with the preparation with like yesterday's session, because that was like short and snappy, wasn't it?
Yeah, mate. I mean, we've just challenged the boys there, technically, tactically. The knowledge, information we've put into them. They are prepared. The session that we had yesterday was short and sharp. The boys knew what we were doing, what we were going to work on before we went out there, both offensively and defensively. But out there, we challenged them, we got the work done, and the boys realised what the work we had to be doing and why. Okay, and it's now about transitioning it and implementation it on the heat of the moment and the heat of the battle.
The squad's been in a good place. I was going to say from a numbers point of view. Sometimes as injuries get picked up at all sorts in these sort of tournaments, isn't there?
Yeah, it's funny though, David, because you never get any injuries when you're in a final. So we've got clean bill of health to pick a team from today, and there's been some tough calls really in terms of lads that played on Wednesday, aren't playing today, and lads that didn't play on Wednesday are playing today, and those are tactical and strategic decisions in terms of why we've done that, based on the opposition we play. And like I said, to the other day, the team we put out on Wednesday was to prepare Wednesday's team, and the team we've got now we think is the best resource to go about today, and how we've shaped up and we've restructured our sort of our backline and some of the shape of some of our forwards as well.
And I mean, not all that comes to one. There's one goal here, isn't there? It's win.
There's one goal. Our first aim was when we came out here was to get the final, and our second aim is to win it. And it's funny here walking around the camp really, and you're in among sort of Serbians, Ukrainians, you've got Serbians, and you've also got the French, and it's interesting, from the French that we needn't turn up because they've already beat our academy team, and they talk about the numbers within the academy structure, and potentially they could get another 6, 7, 8 teams, before these lads, and these lads are ranked 8th, 9th in the pecking order. So my response to that was quite simple really. We'll just take them for a party in Belgrade and we'll fly home and we won't play the game. But so when we challenge the lads with these statements, there's a few smiles and a few ryes, and I'm absolutely 100% that these guys will rise to this challenge today, and if they apply everything that we've worked with them, okay, and if they can get that up to 80% of what we're asked them will be there or thereabouts today, I am absolutely 100% sure. As heading up this programme in the under-19s on this European Championship, I'm so proud of this group. I'm so proud of the staff and the backroom staff. We've had to work through some difficult challenges, shall we say, but we've stayed tight as a group. We've stayed tight. We've dealt through that adversity, and we're here and we're in the final, and we're 2 hours away from the kick-off. So, you know, the boys have been. The final message to the boys was, the scene's being set. Now go and deliver.
Green Cooling keeps the 13 Pro-Am Community Rugby League show cool, even when tackles get heated.
So there you go, you heard it from Gary, you were there. The French obviously thinking that they've won the game already. As I said before, I can understand that to a certain degree, because if you've beaten an academy side with all Super League players, then you would think that. But don't forget, you've got to go out and beat the guys who are in front of you. And let's see how they got on. This is Parky and a little bit of the highlights from the game.
Devon Sharp, cheeky half-back. There's plenty of those in Cumbria. And the Wathborough Hornet tapped it quickly. Referee said, no, wait for me. So Sharp communicates with the rest of his teammates. Looks for a runner. Joe Lewis is there. Charges at the defence. There was no thoughts of self-preservation there. He's 5 metres out from the line. Blinkhorn drops it back to Noah Dalton, who flashes his way through. Perfectly worked try. Look at how much it means to the Lions. They take the lead. 23rd minute, 4 points to 0. Yeah, the kick to come from George Jameson, skipper of the Salford City Roosters under 19 side. Ground's fallen silent. He sets himself a right-footed kicker, and it's between those posts, so 6 points to 0. What a start, and the first points come, and they go the way of the England Community Lions. Over the 40-metre line, into the dying embers of this first half. Joe Lewis just tries to do another hit up, successfully, over that 40-metre line. Holgate, onto Sharp. Now Barker. Barker, 25 metres away from the line. Hooter goes. We play on. Devon Sharp goes for the drop goal. The drop goal is awarded. And we are 7-0 at half-time. That was a real scrappy pass from Muelle. Did well to clean it up, did France. And it was Lenny Mark with that carry. Last tackle has been reached though. James kicks over the top, it's a little chip. Oh, brilliant work from Martins. Martins, open pass in front of him, steps round, finds some support from James. James dives in. That's the response from France. You give them one little sniff and away they come with the points. That was glorious rugby league. So Jimenez Lopez adds on those extras. It's 7 points to 6. So England Community Lions still just in front, but that gap just the 1 point. Next run coming in from Munico, wrapped up by 2, 30 metres away from the line. France, ball played, it's in with James, he links with Muelle, the defence moves up on him. I do feel that if they can cut out Muelle, there's space for this French side to exploit down the left, but the ball's gone loose and it's a penalty with the way that it's gone loose. Hands on the ball have been ruled against Blinkhorn. So it's another opportunity here for France. And you know what? This penalty directly in front of the post here, Steve, 30 metres out. It's worth a shot, surely.
Yeah, it must be. I mean, it's a chance to grab the lead.
Jimenez Lopez sends his kick goalward, and France have the advantage. They lead in this one by 8 points to 7. 15 minutes to go. France are in front. It's as narrow as you like though. And then it's kicked forward from Sharp. It's a low kick, it's an intelligent kick. There's a penalty coming up here for the England Community Lions. A tackle off the ball. a real chance for the Lions to go back in front. So Jameson with this attempt on goal. We've got about 5 minutes remaining. So Jameson lining this one up, taking his time. The crowd willing him on. Jameson steps up. The flags are raised. England Community Lions have the front again. They lead by 9 points to 8 into the last few minutes of the game. Can the Lions do it? The pressure is building on this French side into the last couple of minutes. Breathless second half. Clock has been stopped. Sharp turning to his troops. The communication has been made. Tell you what, if they work it smartly, they've got a 4-on-3 down the right side from this scrum. Sharp feeds it, comes out at the base, it goes wide onto Ogden. The defence reset itself and the hit came in. 3-man challenge from France inside the last 10 metres. Inside the final couple of minutes, Joe Lewis skips towards the middle. It's 9 points to 8 in favour of the England Community Lions. Metcalf charges headlong. Metcalf shy of the line. Thrown to the floor. He'll play it to Jameson. Jameson works it back to Miller Dalton. Dalton all the way! Yes, what a score for England Community Lions. Miller Dalton is the hero. Look at these scenes. That's amazing. They've worked it around that middle. They've sucker punched the French. Miller Dalton with that score. It comes just a couple of minutes out from the line. What a try. Miller Dalton with the second score. And that has moved the scoreline on to 13 points to 8 with the kick to come. So currently 13 points to 8 in favour of the England Community Lions. What a time to score the try. Just a couple of minutes from the end of the game. And it's converted by Jameson. The hooter sounds. It was scored at the death. And England Community Lions have done it. They have won this game against the odds. They have won by 15 points to 8. What a performance. Superb from the Lions. They've done it yet again. The trophy is coming back to England. They've won in Belgrade by 15 points to 8.
13 Pro-Am Community Rugby League Show. We talk because we care.
Well, Devon, European champion. How does that sound, Cot? Absolutely brilliant. The boys have dug deep there, faced adversity and beat the French team. The French team beat the England Academy. We were doubted right the way through the competition because they had this amount of players in, they had this amount of players in, but the boys dug deep and we've come away champions.
There should have been no way that anyone was doubting this side because you've got kahunas of steel.
Yeah, the boys have dug deep. We've come away with the win. The French are in the bin.
What does this mean to you?
Absolutely everything. The boys have worked 18 months for this. We've worked 18 months working hard. There's been a lot of lads who have missed out on this squad of 20. Some of the coaches might have been said that some other players might have been in, but the 20 lads have just proved there that these are the right 20 lads who come away as European champions.
And what have you learned about yourself from this trip?
Hard work, staying consistent, sticking to the process. And, well, to be honest with you, it's been an experience of a lifetime, and I think everyone can agree with this. 1 to 20 lads, you've made some real good mates right throughout this tour, some mates for life. And yeah, we've all come away with a memorable experience of being European and under-19 champions.
You'll have these mates for life. You'll be reflecting on this in 20 years' time.
Absolutely.
That's the enormity of it.
Yeah, it comes down. Yeah.
And you know, like as well, seeing as this is our final vlog of the tour.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that you want to sort of thank while you're on?
I want to say thank you to all the coaching staff, the physios that are doing the unseen work behind the scenes. The countless hours that the coaching have done to get us where we are today, the video reviews that we've done on ourselves, on the opposition, which ultimately allowed us to come away as European champions. And I just want to say a massive thank you to my family who have provided the money, and the other families that have helped me travel down, which is Lisa and Farrell, and then my mum, dad, granddad and brothers for helping me come down, travel to training, come away as champions. And I just want to say a massive thank you to all the lads for allowing me to be part of this, to be part of the 20-man squad and come away as European champions.
And how good was it as well to see him up at stand?
Absolutely brilliant. Unmatched experience.
Yeah, what a game. What an absolute blinding game. I managed to watch it. I'd sent Parky a bit of a tweet. Well, it wasn't actually straight to Parky. It was to the European Rugby League, to the RFL, and also to the Lions, because I watched some of the games and they didn't have any commentary. And I knew Parky was over there. And I thought, if there's a man who can bring this game to life for you to listen, certainly to listen to, it's Parky, and he did an absolutely brilliant job. I'm glad they managed to get him on there, because the game itself was so much of a spectacle, because he does bring it to life. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He loves being out there with those guys, and he's really made up for them all. The team that played was Josh Langley, Sam Murtagh, Marcus Keener, Harry Ogden, Daniel Knott, George Jameson, Devon Sharp, Miller Dalton, Josh Blinkhorn, Tom Farron, Keane Elms, Ben Metcalf, Joe Lewis, and subs were Jack Lawler, Harry Barker, Josh Hopkins and Fletcher Aldgate. Obviously there's a full squad out there that have all taken part in this competition throughout the week, and obviously have been involved in all the training squads and etc. And all I can say is very well done, guys. You've done it again. The lads did it 2 years ago, and you've proved it yourselves top of the tree, beating a French team who we knew were very strong, so that makes it even sweeter at the end of the day. So I'm sure when you get back to your community clubs, they'll be welcoming you with open arms, and because you've done yourself proud, you've done your families proud, and obviously you've done your community clubs proud indeed. Got to say to Gary Ewan and all the guys there, well done on getting the guys to that level and coming away with that win. Yeah, and speaking of Gary Ewan, Parky caught up with him on the way home in the airport in Munich, and this is his reflection with Gary on the obviously the week. How things just get a little bit emotional.
Well, Gary, you can't get much more authentic than sitting on an airport floor waiting for the final flight home.
Absolutely, nice and cool, yeah. Just waiting in Munich, ready to fly to Manchester, and just reflecting back, Dave, to be honest, on a fantastic journey.
Yeah, I really want to reflect on that final, because, I mean, what a journey, what a titanic struggle. And having been part or seen part of that build-up, the boys delivered everything that you asked for, didn't they?
Absolutely, an 18-month journey, come to that pinnacle end in a European Championship win, on the back of Four Nations Championship win last year. Absolutely phenomenal, a group from 240 down to the final 20 players, and the way we finished that off was nothing else but absolutely fabulous, to be honest.
And to be fair as well, they nailed certain plays at certain times. The drop goal on the stroke of half-time was crucial.
Yeah, I mean, the overall sort of execution of the game plan was just out there to see. It was quite clinical, really. The way we shaped up to play against these guys. We knew they were going to come at us from all over the field. Coming out in yardage and good ball, and we put a defensive strategy out there that the boys carried out, and ultimately I believe the defence won us the game. The boys just kept turning up for each other. Got in the middle around the ruck areas, and when they went wide on early shifts, our edges were pushed up and stayed up, and we were unified. And and when you look at actually the game itself, they didn't actually make a line break to actually score the try. It was through a kick. So but you mentioned there about the the drop goal, and just before half time. That's great. That's great sort of game management from Dev Sharp there. The whistle had actually gone, and he has the vision and the brains just to pop one over, to make it 7. But you know, when you look at the actual the game plan as well with ball in hand, you know, we found a few deficiencies within the French team, and especially their goal line D and round the ruck area. And you know, we've worked on these players for quite a while now, but we thought that player would really open them up, and hence, you know, Miller Dalton 2 tries, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, he probably had the game of his life, didn't he, Miller?
Oh, Miller was immense. I mean, his engine was gone. He played big minutes. All the middles played big minutes, to be fair. And you know, Miller, those tries, those execution, those tries, that, you know, they weren't just put the ball down. He had to work hard for them. His physical strength and his size and his technique to spin within there, and his sheer determination, you know, got him over that line, and very worthy man of the match.
Are those the more pleasing aspects, you know, when it's moves that you've worked on that you end up scoring from?
When you set up a game plan for a team, and again, each team's different, you know, you ask the players to go out and understand the reasons why we're taking that out, and we show them on videos, and then we go out on the training park and we execute them, and then ultimately they've got to transition that into the game, you know. And if the players ultimately believe in it and they can see the reason why and they've worked it, you know, if you get that sort of implemented in the game 80-90%, you know, as a coach, it's very, very pleasing. Defensively, we turned up. You know, we watched the videos, we defended on the training park exactly how they would come at us. We did it, execution, game plan, ball in hand, okay, we did it twice. You know, we scored 2 tries at the right times, okay, exposing their deficiencies, which we identified, and the boys knew they could score. So from a coaching point of view, absolutely 100% pleasing.
It was like, you know, they carried out the tip sheet to perfection, didn't they?
Absolutely, you know, tip sheet, you know, visual audit, kinesthetic, you know, we followed all those coaching elements, and, you know, we just keep planting that seed throughout the week, you know, dropping little bits in videos, etc. on the training park. Yeah, it was absolutely game plan, you know, perfecto really, in terms of turning up, you know, being patient, following process, and ultimately delivered with skill execution.
I've got to say as well, though, there was a huge element of heart in that as well, wasn't there? Because there was times where they had to scramble so hard, didn't they, as a collective?
Well, you know, the togetherness, we've talked about the brotherhood, you talk about coming together on the journey, and right from the, you know, when you come away to foreign countries and you're playing it with foreign referees, you have to work really hard for each other. You have to come as close as you've ever been. You have to stay resilient through adversity, you know, and that shone through in abundance, you know, from 1 to 20 players within the, you know, the warm-up game, the semi-final and the final, just turning up for each other. And we talked about energy and just keep turning up. And you're absolutely right, some of that resilience in defence just to keep turning up against, you know, a stubborn French team that kept coming. We forced errors in their game. We forced a lot of errors in their game, you know what I mean? And ultimately, you know, we earned that right. You know, whether they say they dropped the ball, whether we forced it, ultimately our game plan through that doggedness, that pride, that passion, just keep turning up. Ultimately they didn't score with a line break.
You had a little exocet missile on the bench as well in Fletcher Holgate. Some of his hits were absolutely immense. I don't think I've seen anybody of his size hit that hard.
No, mate, you know, we threw him out there, and, you know, he caused a nuisance while he was out there, both sides of the ball with his little darting runs, and ultimately, you know, he really is a solid defender, and, you know, his first spell he went really, really well, and, you know, I looked at the time frame on the clock and I thought I need to freshen him up because I need to get him back out there for his second stint, and I held him back, and when he went out on his second stint, some of the tackles and his Ds he put in to force those headers was absolutely immense, and he was a real impact player, a little pocket dynamo.
As you said, though, I mean, it's a real collective performance, that, isn't it? And that's what must come as most pleasing to you.
I mean, you know, everybody plays their part, don't they? You know, you use certain resources, players at certain times in the game to do certain things. Want to dig in there just to do a defensive stint. Want to come out then and stop an attacking threat. Want to change your shape. You know, when we shaped up with the team was different to why we went against the Ukraine, and unfortunately some players that played against the Ukrainians didn't play, you know, against the French team. But this has been a 20-man journey on this championship, and they've all played their part, and they're all European champions, and they should be very, very proud of that. You know, resources, resources in terms of staff as well behind the scenes. So much have to care for these lads in terms of the wraparound support, you know, the welfare, the rehab, the medical, you know, everything's there. You know, yourself in the background doing the media stuff. You know, it's an absolutely phenomenal effort, both staff and players, and, you know, it's quite a unique group that we've pulled together, and we've come together, and ultimately, you know, we've come victorious. I mean, as a coach, coach, I couldn't be any more proud of Dave, to be honest. I mean, that closes out that 18-month journey with these particular boys, and they'll go on to now and hopefully springboard to future to future opportunities, whether that be in the pro game or in the amateur game, but ultimately they can go forward as a European champion.
Definitely. And how does a coach freshen up after something like this? Because I mean, it's been an intense period, hasn't it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, as a coach, you've got an immense responsibility. Both sides of the playing park, making sure the preparation's right, making sure the aftercare's right, and ultimately time, punctuality, putting standards, expectations in place. You're spinning a lot of plates, and mentally and physically it is challenging. But I knew that before I came, and I'll be totally honest, mate. Mentally I'm brimming. I'm getting there. My battery's about done. It needs to recharge up. I'll go back home. I'm very much a family man. I love my family, and sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional here. Just spend time with them.
Thank you so much, Gary. I really appreciate it, and thanks for all your help as well over the course of the last few months.
Thanks very much, Dave.
Absolutely superb. And I'm sure once I get Parky back, because I know tomorrow he's actually on a plane going over to France, because I think it's the under-17s who are playing France over the next week or so. And I'm sure that French team will want to get a little bit of revenge for their under-19s counterparts. But when he gets back, he'll fill us in with a few more details. I'm sure there's going to be a few more interviews that's going to be coming your way. But again, that is the European Under-19s Championship Finals, and your winners are England.
13 Pro-Am Community Rugby League Show, discussing the greatest game at all grassroots levels.
So it's time to catch up with things in the NCL and how things went on this weekend, kicking off with the Premier Division. Westall remain behind leaders Siddle solely on points difference following an 18-10 home win over reigning champions Hunslet's ARLFC. The Green and Golds, who had prevailed 22-4 in South Leeds, opened the scoring in the 16th minute through Elliot Jones, with Ryan Wilson adding the extras. Will Cohen responded immediately for the visitors, but Jones snared his second touchdown on the half hour, with Josh Woods adding the try in the last minute of the opening period. Wilson and Elliot Middlemass added the respective extras to help establish an 18-4 interval lead. And, despite registering the only points of the second period, Jordan Gale converting Josh McLenn's 52nd minute try, Hunslet were unable to seriously force their way back into the contest. Final score, Westall 18, Hunslet ARLFC 10. Tries for West, 2 for Jones and 1 for Woods. Goals, 2 from Wilson and 1 for Middlemass. And Hunslet, Cohen and McClelland with just 1 goal from Gale. Half time, it was 18-4. And speaking of Siddle meanwhile ground out to 20-0. Verdict over the giving their 4th victory on the run at Kells, who are 2 points shy of the playoffs placings and a couple of points clear of relegation zone. The Halifax outfit, who had notched a 34-0 triumph on their own patch, again kept the minors pointless, despite a huge effort by Cumbrian's second rower Clark Chambers. Perhaps the defining moment of the contest came midway through the first half when Kells' Dave Lowry was red-carded. There had been no score at that stage, and Siddle had to wait until 3 minutes before the interval before being able to break the deadlock with Harvey Williams' try and Jamie Greenwood's conversion. Williams added his second score 9 minutes after the restart and went on to claim an important hat-trick as the match went into the final quarter, with Josh Mills getting the closing touchdown and Greenwood kicking the second goal 6 minutes from time. Kells coach Peter Smith said it was a solid performance up until the 20th minute when Dave was dismissed, and again it was 0-0 until the 38th minute when they scored in the corner and were 6-0 up at the interval. The extra man that we didn't have proved pivotal, and they used it to their advantage, but we must learn from our mistakes. Final score there, Kells 0, Siddle 20. Siddle tries 3 for Williams and 1 for Mills, 2 goals for Greenwood. And Rochdale Mayfield, well, they exacted retribution for their 14-10 setback in Cumbria with a 29-6 win over the Wathbrow Hornets. The victory hoists Mayfield into 3rd spot, while Hornets have slipped from 5th to 6th, and with only 2 wins in the last 7 outings are in danger of missing out on the playoffs altogether. Wasbrough had to wait until the 49th minute before Conor Molyneux popped in and Cole Walker-Taylor improved. Rochdale, however, had established a 16-0 interval lead, Sean Slater, Zach Baker and Dakota Tolhurst having crossed. Travis Long and Lewis Butterworth added closing touchdowns in a 6-minute spell straddling the hour. Jordan Parr improving both efforts in a 4-goal contribution, and Hornets were unable to make any responding inroads, despite Slater copping a yellow card with 9 minutes left for tripping. Instead, Mayfield had the last word with Cole Connolly's field goal. Final score there, Rochdale Mayfield 29, Wasbrough Hornets 6. Mayfield's try scorers, Slater and Baker with Tolhurst, Long and Butterworth. Goals 4 from Parr and a field goal from Connolly. Hornets, they had a try from Molyneux and, as I said, Walker-Taylor adding the extras. Half-time was 16-0. So we then move on to Uath, who were up against York Acorn in the National Conference League Premier Division, when Uath were just edged out in an 8-0 absorbing derby encounter with fierce local rivals York Acorn in front of a sizable crowd at the Elm Park Way. It was an attritional affair with both sides slugging it out blow for blow in the strength sapping conditions. And it wasn't under the 68 minutes that the visitors, when Josh Parker scampered over. Hank Chilton goal and 9 minutes later landed a penalty to clinch what could turn out to be vital bragging rights win. Both teams started well, making strong yardage and generating good field position, but neither was able to turn it into points. Uath did have strong claims for tries by winger Billy Sturdy and substitute forward Ben Barnard, chopped off by the referee's whistle, but it was a similar situation at the other end, with visitors also having chances denied by the official. Defences continued to dominate the remainder of the half, which really became an arm wrestle of superiority, and with neither side being able to trouble the scoreboard, things remained scoreless at the break. The second half followed a similar pattern, with both teams making strenuous efforts to prevail, and with a quarter of an hour gone, Uath came close after a quick shift to the left edge sent second rower Liam Richmond charging for the line, but the ball slipped from his grasp in the tackle when reaching out to score. As the clock ticked down and the heat started to take its toll, something had to give, and on 68 minutes, Acorn's man of the match, Anthony Chilton, slotted a neat kick through a gap in the home defence line, and fullback Josh Parker followed up to touchdown by the post, for Chilton to add the simple conversion. The villagers were not done yet though, and 5 minutes later, another good handling move exposed the visitors' left edge, but the final pass from fullback Fraser West to winger George Burton went astray, and the ball rolled harmlessly into touch to deny what looked like a certain try. With 3 minutes remaining, Uath were caught offside from a scrum on the halfway line, and Chilton stepped up to slot a towering penalty goal, which went over via the left upright, put the icing on the cake for the Acorn to seal the victory, 8-0. With 6 games remaining, 3 of which are against top 4 sides, this latest defeat plunges Uath deep in the relegation dogfight and leaves them needing to win 3 matches to keep their hopes of surviving in the top flight alive. That report there from Dave Ward. Meanwhile, Tatooeth, who had lost 28 points to 6 7 days earlier at Loch Lane, immediately turned the tables with a 30 points to 22 success in St Helens. The Crusaders, who are 2 points clear of the lane, are outside the top 6 solely on points difference, while the Castleford side stay above the drop zone thanks to Uath's defeat. Loch Lane were 16 points to 14 ahead at the interval, only for Thato to take control with 2 tries by Mason Phillips and touchdowns for Keane Guilford and Connor Dwyer. And Lewis Price's 3rd try for the visitors, with Nathan Fossard landing his 3rd goal as the final whistle blew, came too late to affect the outcome. Man of the match was Sean Lester. Jamie Tracy and Guilford had crossed in the first half for Tatooeth, with Phillips landing the Crusaders' only goal. Lucas Moon notched the visitors' remaining try to help forge that interval lead. Final score, Tatooeth Crusaders 30, Loch Lane 22. West Bowling may still be bottom, but the Bradford outfits are not going to relinquish the top flight status without a fight, and as they beat Egremont, who are now only 2 points above them. Rangers, who had won 24 points to 16 in Cumbria, rallied from 22-0 down shortly before the break to only be 10 points adrift, with tries straddling the interval for Jensen Burney and Brad Long, both of which Matt Boucher converted. Bowling, however, had the better of the subsequent exchanges, with unanswered touchdowns from Hayden Spence, Aidan Scully, Josh Lynham and Richard Lum. Harry Williams completing a 7-goal haul. West had established their 22-0 lead with tries by Lewis Magson, Elliot Cousins, Jack Milburn. Coach Rhys Davis said a slow start did us no favours, going 22-0 down, but we got back to 22-12 after correcting a few things. We had a decent dig, but the lack of experience cost us at times. So the final score there, West Bowling 46, Egremont Rangers 12.
13 Pro-Am, giving a voice to Community Rugby League.
And into Division 2. Bottom side Myton were always unlikely to gain revenge at leaders Shawcross for the 60 points to 20 home defeat and duly lost 68 points to 6. The 16-man Warriors were 50 points to 0 adrift before Nathan Slater improved Mike Ward's touchdown. The Sharks otherwise dominated with 4 tries each from Caleb Jordan and Nathan Smith, with Dick Tomlinson posting 2 tries and 10 goals. Evan Stevenson and Brad Wakenshaw also cross. Final score there, Shawcross Sharks 68, Myton Warriors 6. Second place, Wigan St Jude's won 28 points to 6 at Millom, who had been edged 14-12 in their away fixture. Jude's, who were 22-0 ahead early in the second half, closed with tries by Lewis Melling, Connor Parkinson, Adam Holt, Brogan Turner, and, after Jacob Dugdale had been red-carded for dissent and Millon's Jack Newbegin had improved Jonathan Hodgson's try, Barry Rothwell. Danny Cassidy kicked 4 goals. Final score there, Millom 6, Wigan St Jude's 28. The Woolybacks are now in the relegation zone below Barrow Island, who won 25 points to 20 at third place Oldham St Anne's. Oldham, who had won 32-12 in Cumbria, led 22-20 with 11 minutes left, thanks to Richard Pogson's conversion of 3 of tries by Callum Fletcher, Owen Smith, Craig Basnett and Sam Sykes. But Barrow, who scored only 3 tries to 4, edged it through 2 penalties by 6-goal maestro Max Anderson-Moore, while Ian Irving landed a field goal. Cal McBain, Declan Baines and Ryan Wilson crossed for the island. Oldham 28, Barrow Island 25, the final score. Dewsbury Celtic are joint 4th with Normanton, who had been held to a draw in Wakefield courtesy of a 24 points to 10 verdict. Celtic, who were never behind, were only 12-10 ahead as the hour beckoned, but took the spoils with unanswered tries by Lewis Teal, Nathan Waring, with Paul Falston adding the last 2 of his 4 goals. Falston had bagged an earlier brace, while the ninth, from whom Tom Van Steen was simbing shortly after half hour for a high tackle, posted a try and a goal by Charlie Barker, plus Jacob Crossland's effort. Final score there, Dewsbury Celtic 24, Normanton Knights 10. 2 tries for Falston, 1 for Teal and 1 for Waring, 4 goals for Falston. For the Knights, Crossland and Barker scored tries, with Barker getting a conversion. Thornhill leapfrogged Ellenborough with 30 points to 22 success. The Trojans, who were only behind for a short spell in the first half, gained revenge for the 22 points to 10 defeat in Cumbria through a Jordan Edwards brace and tries from Rye Ward, Jake Hickling and Kieran Costello, each of which Joel Gibson converted. Kyle Espy crossed twice for Elborough Rangers. Josh Pattinson chipped in with a try, added 3 goals, and Lewis Fearon dotted down before Ryan Wilson was simbing for a late hit. Ellenborough coach Paul Gorge said, "It was yet another game where we played well and I thought we could have won it. Once more it was a case of being pleased with the performance but not pleased with the results. We were leading 12-6 near the end of the first half, so we were trying to catch up in the second half, but I felt proud of the way they battled. We had 10 players missing for the game, mainly through holidays and work, and the lads who came in really did well." Final score, Thornhill Trojans 30, Ellenborough Rangers 22. Tries for Thornhill, 2 for Edwards, 1 for Ward, Hickling and Costello, with Gibson getting 5 goals. For Ellenborough Rangers, Gillespie 2, Fearon 1, Patterson 1, with Patterson 3 goals. That was 18-12 at half-time. Pucks Rex secured a convincing 46 points to 18 victory over Saddleworth Rangers on Saturday, extending their lead over the relegation zone to 4 points and leaving their opponents firmly rooted in the danger area. Both teams entered the match desperate to avoid a third consecutive defeat, but it was the Rex who started brightly. Ian Mather opened the scoring after just 2 minutes, with Kieran Napper adding the first of his 7 successful conversions from 8 attempts. Standoff Ben O'Connell orchestrated the Rex attacks, leading to further tries for Carl Ingham, Alex Fitz-Emery, Callum Johnson, and establishing a dominant 22 points to the lead by the 22nd minute. Saddleworth, with Jack Bradbury showcasing his impressive play, managed to pull one back before half-time through Ethan Langhorne. Charlie McManus converted a try, reducing the deficit to 22 points to 6. The second half began with another Rex try, Andy Napper crossing the line 5 minutes after the restart. However, Saddleworth mounted a spirited comeback with quick tries from McManus and Zach Round, both converted by McManus, bringing the score to a tense 30 points to 20. Pucks Rex regained control, however, in the final quarter, with Fraser Enzio sin-binning for a high tackle shortly after the half-hour mark, disrupting Saddleworth's momentum. The Rex capitalised with 3 unanswered tries from Tom Connick, Elliot Martin and Callum Johnson, his second of the game, securing a comfortable victory. And I actually was there to watch this game, and it was great to see Rex. We watched them, I think, a couple of months back, I think it was March, against Oldham St Anne's, and they'd been on a bit of a poor run, and obviously, as we mentioned in the shows before, they've had a bit of a fall from grace, but it looks as though they've just managed to stop the slip and are starting to climb up that ladder again. Anyway, after the game, I caught up with Jonathan Mann. Hi, time today at Ruskin Park. Just watched Pucks Rex against Saddleworth Rangers. Excellent win by Parkinson today, 46 points to 18, and I've got coach Johnny Mann with me. John, your thoughts on that game, eh?
Oh, massive result for the lads, especially what happened with away to Jude's last Thursday. We came away from that game very hurt with the result that happened, because we know we were better than that, and we spoke to the lads before the game today just to say, like, listen, today was an ideal day to knuckle down, set a game plan, stick to it and put things right, what we got wrong in that game. Definitely went ahead and did it today. Massive racks, 1-17. We set a game plan and they stuck to it, and they got the just rewards today.
Yeah, I noticed quite a few faces in there, and sort of quite a few young faces as well.
Yeah, we train with the 18s on a Tuesday, Thursday. So they've been joining in with us, running through the sets, getting used to what we expect in an open age and how the sort of intensity that we expect from them. We had a good 3-week period where we knuckled down on defensive processes, so they all know what's expected and how to apply themselves into that contact and how to finish the wrestle and win that flow. So it's all come together nicely, slowly but nicely, which is what you want. So when the rest of those 18s decide to make that step up, they're in a good position to filter in and not feel out of sorts. So they're definitely reaping the rewards from that.
Yeah, and of course you've got the two old stagers, you might say, Tom Connick and Jamie Smith, sort of helping them to go around, and Tom leading them around really, really good today.
Yeah, Tom's been he's had a massive impact going back to 9, really showing how good a rugby brain he has. And also with Jamie stepping back onto the pitch in that player coach role. Listen, you don't lose quality, and Jamie brings that quality to every single game, and I think what's good for the lads to see is he's willing to knuckle down and do that dirty work and get through that yardage.
Yeah, last time we were down here was, I think it was March, you were playing Oldham St Anne's, and at the time you were on a bit of a slippery slope, but it looks like you've alleviated that and had some really, really good results and things moving forward. Yeah,
we got a bit lost. I mean, that was a game that we should have won. We was in a position where we could have sealed that one, but on the back end of the 20 minutes that second half, we let ourselves down. And it was really after the Wigan St Jude's home game that we had where things really did probably hit our lowest. And the lads and ourselves as coaches, we had to sit back and have a think and like press that reset button. And thankfully, the lads brought a new rejuvenated approach in training, and they've just kept it going every single game. They've laid new foundations, and they've laid foundations that the whole unit, the whole squad, regardless of what 17 go out there on a Saturday, when they're down training, they know what they want to do and what they want to put into it, and they put it in collectively. And today was a big show of that, and yeah, I can't be much prouder of what they've gone and done today. Really superb.
Yeah, because really today was a big result in the fact that you two teams are in the division. That just pushes you a little bit further away from Saddleworth and further away from that bottom half, and you're not far away from the other, sort of close middle to possibly top as well.
Definitely. I mean, if you look at that league table, the bottom 5-6 teams, couple 2-4 points difference. So every game is going to have a massive impact on that, but also the points difference. It's like the point score today is massively in our favour, especially what happened with St Jude's. But we've just got to approach it week by week. We can't get above ourselves, can't get ahead of it. Just got to keep honest, stay humble, and just knuckle down week by week. And slowly but surely, we'll make sure we're not in that relegation battle. But like you just said then, yeah, we're not far off from that playoff area, which we're more than capable of being in and making a difference.
Cheers, John. Thanks very much for that, and all the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you again, Beechy.
Every tackle, every try, every scrum. Green Cooling is proud to be part of the Community Rugby League family.
Yeah, that's Johnny Mann talking to him after the game. Was really buoyed with the performance, and as I say, it's quite a stark difference from when we were last down there, watched them against Oldham St Anne's. Great to see, as I say, Tom Connick had an absolute stormer. Jamie Smith was winning absolutely everything that was positive with regards to how they had that great outcome. So we're moving to Division 3, and East Leeds ended leaders Dissington's 8-match winning run with a 28 points to 20 home success. A 6 win on the trot, and retribution for the 17 points to 10 reversing Cumbria was earned through a fight back from 20 points to 12 down, involving tries by Tom Mims, Shane Plunkett and Andy Duquesne, with Luke Littlewood landing the last 2 of his 4 goals. Mims and Nathan Conroy had crossed in the first half, while the visitors had led through a try and a goal by Kieran Worthington. Touchdowns from James Mottom and Brian Ritchie, and 3 goals by Scott George, who had been sin-binned in the early stages for dissent. East's Adam Keady was yellow-carded in the first half for a high tackle. Dissington coach Aidan Worthington said, "I think if we had another couple of forwards on the bench to spell lads off, we would have won it, because we were the better side for most of the game. But we had gone very light, and that cost us in the end. Fair play to East Leeds. They saw we were struggling, and they brought this flying machine on and scored 3 tries in the last 7 minutes. Final score there, East Leeds 28, Dissington 20. For East, tries 2 for Mims, Conroy, Plunkett and Duquesne weighing in with 1 each, with Littlewood with 4 goals. Dissington, Mottom, Worthington and Ritchie. Worthington kicking a goal along with George, who kicked 3. Half-time was 12 points to 18. Driglington have leapfrogged Enzingham in 3rd spot, gaining revenge for the 26 points to 0 defeat in Cumbria with a 54 points to 14 hammering. The Hens were 36 points to 0 behind before posting a Reuben Butterworth brace and a Liam Quayle try, with Jay Weatherall adding a conversion. Otherwise, Drigg held sway with 2 tries each for Luke Broadbent, Joe Sheldon and Lucas Hallis, while Joe Sanderson scored a try and 9 goals. Braden Hunter and Sam Thornton closed the account. Coach Chris Coward wasn't happy at all. "That was really bad one to take," he said. "We started slowly and never recovered and capitulated really. We just have to get back on the horse, because we can't have these 2 last defeats spoiling what has promised to be a good season." Final score there was Driglington 54, Enzingham 14. Tries 2 for Broadbent, Sanderson 2 for Sheldon, Hunter 2 for Hallis and Thornton. 9 goals from Sanderson. For the Hens, it was Butterworth with 2 and 1 for Quayle, with Weatherall managing a conversion. Half time, it was 30-0. Playoff hopefuls Beverley completed the double over Milford, who had been beaten 30-16 in Leeds, with a 26-22 success, secured with a try in the last minute by Ben Rowan, with Josh Poskett adding the conversion and a subsequent penalty in a 5-goal tally. Lewis Miller, Bobby Howdell and Rowan had crossed earlier, while Milford had led through tries by Jack Easton, Steve Bacon, Taylor Stevenson and Joe Tharm, plus 3 Jake Payne conversions. Final score there, 26, Beverley 26, Milford 22. Bentley, who are also targeting a top 6 berth, won 10-4 at Seaton, who they had beaten 62-12 in Doncaster. The visitors led 10-0 early in the second period, having posted tries by Tony McTurton and Jack Craswell, plus a Ben Sykes goal. Duncan Moyle hit back on the hour for Rangers, from whom the levelling score proved elusive, despite plenty of pressure. Final score, Seaton Rangers 4, Bentley 10. So that's all the results for this week. Let's have a look at the fixtures for this weekend. Kicking off, as we say, with the Premier Division. Rochdale Mayfield, they'll be making their way all the way to Ewyth, while Kells, they will be going to Loch Lane. Siddle will welcome Thathaways Crusaders, and Wasbrow Hornets will be in all Cumberland's clash with Egremont Rangers. West Bowling, they will be welcoming Unslet ARLFC, and York Acorn, they will be up against West Hull. Moving into Division 1, it's Ulton Raiders up against Hull Dockers. Skirler will be up against Crossfield. Clotface Miners, they will be going over to Stanley, and Ince Rosebridge make the journey to Waterhead Warriors. Wigan St Pat's, well, they take on Lee Miners Rangers. And to complete Division 1, Woolston Rovers will be welcoming Dewsbury Moor Maroons. Division 2, Pilks will make the long trip up to Barrow Island, whilst Dewsbury Celtic, they welcome Thornhill Trojans. Allenby Rangers will be up against Midland, and Oldham St Anne's make the journey to Mighton Warriors. Normanton Knights will take the journey to Shawcross Sharks, while Wigan St Jude's welcome Saddleworth Rangers. Division 3, Featherstone Lions, well, they're up against Beverley. Lee East, they will be taking on Ensingham, and Dissington, they will be making the journey over to Milford. So that brings us to the end of another action-packed edition of the 13 Pro-Am Community Rugby League show. And what a week it's been. From the EB Lamb and Son Amateur Cup up there in Cumbria, to the ongoing battles in the North West Men's League, the Yorkshire Men's League, and of course the NCL, the grassroots game continues to deliver. And of course a special mention to our young Lions who have been flying the flag for England in Serbia with a great performance at the European Rugby League Under-19s Championship, and they have been nothing short of inspiring. We'll keep a close eye on their progress as the season continues. As always, we appreciate your support, and remember to follow us on all our social media outlets for all the latest news. Until next time, keep the passion for the game burning bright. Cheers, I'll see you next week.
Every tackle, every try, every scrum. Green Cooling is proud to be part of the Community Rugby League family.